Bodybuilding has taught me a lot of values in life. Number one, believing in myself and believing in my capabilities of what I can transform myself. You don't allow anybody to tell you otherwise or anything. The possibilities are endless. You know, as a kid at 10 years old, that I would be in a magazine because I had mentioned to my mom to buy me a magazine so that way I can study up. 30 plus years later, I believed in myself, I believed in my abilities, and now I actually gave my mother her own magazine. Keeping my head down, working hard, and staying focused, and it was a very painful moment in my life. I overcame it from staying in the gym, from, doing bodybuilding shows, staying connected with friends that were positive, that weren't always drinking every weekend, that, kept me in just one lane. Whatever journey you decide to go forth and proceed, I'd say just believe, work hard, stay consistent, give back, and just be the hardest worker. Be the hardest worker, and you never know.
Number 699, Jonathan Jimenez.
Hi, my name is Johnny Jimenez. I am a muscle icon judge, also an athlete and competitor. So bodybuilding has taught me a lot of values in life. To begin with, number one, believing in myself and believing in my capabilities of what I can transform myself. Bodybuilding is not just about the physique. There's more than just the physique. There is the connections, the people you meet along the way in the journey. It's a lifestyle. It's not for everybody. I've been bodybuilding for about 15 plus years and has led to opportunities such as Men's Fitness cover. I would be that kid at 10 years old going to the magazine section, right? And admiring all these physiques, all these bodybuilders from the past, like Schwarzenegger, Frank Columbo, Luke Ferrigno. I'd look at these guys' bodies and be like, man, I want to be that guy in that cover. They look like superheroes, super cool. So I was there watching, looking at the magazines, reading up, and my mom finds me, right? This is 10 years old, so I had forgotten about this. It just reoccurred after I landed the cover. But I believed that, as a kid at 10 years old, that I would be in a magazine because I had mentioned to my mom to buy me a magazine so that way I can study up and eventually learn the techniques to know what it takes to be, a fitness guru or bodybuilder or model. So I believed in myself from that day as I, manifested. 30 plus years later, I believed in myself. I believed in my abilities, my hard work, because I knew that my work ethic was second to none. I just started bodybuilding and, personal training, and it led me to, the photographer who we landed the magazine with. And now I actually gave my mother her own magazine. The preparation this time around has definitely been a lot more strict and very consistent. So 16 weeks preparation this time around. From the 16 weeks down and counting, we started tapering down. I do carb cycling. So the carb cycling consists of 4-day rotation. So it could be like 3 low and 1 high, or for instance, 100 grams of carbs is 2 cups of rice, right? So for 3 days, I can only have 100 grams of carbs. And then on the 4th day, I have 400, which is probably like about 10 cups for the day. So it's more. So, and these carbohydrates are complex. So they give you that glycogen, so that way when you work out, you have that pump. So the whole depletion process leading up to the show is, building that muscle, training it, repairing it, building it, training it, repairing it, feeding it, giving it water. And then over time, once you're 2-4 weeks out, you start tapering down those carbs to where you start pulling the fat and water out of your body. And so once that fat and water is completely almost washed out of you, guess what? 2 days or maybe a day, depending on your coach or how you strategize, you start adding those carbs back. Because now you're a little dehydrated, and all we're doing is just adding those carbs to swell up that muscle tissue, to give you that illusion 3D on stage. So for Men's Physique, what we're looking for is more of a male model. right? Men's Fitness cover model, maybe looking, has a nice chest, nice shoulders, round in proportion, nice arms, shredded midsection, small waist, V taper, wide back. You're wearing these shorts where you're casually could always walk at the beach and be like, man, I want to look like that guy. He's got an awesome beach body. So that's what we're looking for in Men's Physique and Muscle Icon. As a judge, that's what I aspire to look for. As a competitor on stage, if I'm judging them, that can make them stand out is their posing routine, how they flow from pose to pose, where if someone just turns, and then the other guy turns but kind of has like a smooth transition, then this guy caught my eye more than the other guy because the other guy's just turning and turning. So you can tell that one guy put in less effort on the posing aspect than the other guy that's flowing more artistically, where it's like, like I can't keep my eyes off that guy. So that's how you can definitely separate yourself from your competitor, where if you practice your posing, it flows a little bit more like sweet chain music. In classic, what we're looking for is aesthetics, symmetry, proportion. We're looking for, some detailed legs on the quadriceps, the hamstrings, glutes possibly, if their glutes are conditioned, striated. Back is like, wide, shoulders, kind of like Men's Physique, shredded midsection core, and they can display their physique by, being artistic but creative and similarity of different poses that we've never seen, but they just look artistic. I think that can separate you from your competitor, or what we're looking for. We're looking for creativity as a classic physique competitor. And because you do get a 60-second routine, we want to be like, like this guy came out to this song, or this guy came out to that song. So there's different key points from Men's Physique to classic that makes classic a special category. They're all special in their own way, but to me, classic holds a special place in my heart, and so does bodybuilding, because the amount of time that it takes to get that mind, muscle memory, and connection to really, because there's a way where you can just, if you go front double bicep, from here, if you just turn on the elbow, you bring a peak out more, right? Or if you go here, or if you go there, right? Fingers there. So there's more art flow going through in the classic physique poses. So if you can show us that, or we see that in you, that you have creativity, that's what classic is all about. One thing that can definitely stand out from the other 5 competitors, from that one guy, the 4 competitors, would be confidence. Confidence and, going through the routine flawlessly, almost. Being a great sport about it too. Say if that person won first place and he congratulates his fellow competitors. Sportsmanship, we don't see it very much, but if we do aspire to see that, we love that. That's a great ambassadorship, especially for Muscle Icon, because that's what it's all about. Just because you win a show first place, you're the overall champion, doesn't mean you're better than all your competitors. It just means you put in your time. That means that, you came to compete and you won, but aspire to these guys that, you competed against, that, hey, they can win too, that you did it, they can too. 4 years ago, my wife and I, we separated, and from then I figured I'd get back to my passion, which was bodybuilding and fitness and training. And even though it was a very painful moment in my life, I figured keeping my head down, working hard, and staying focused and what I wanted to do, instead of being not happy, focus more into becoming someone better for myself, for my future, and teaching my daughter at 10 years old now, that being that role model to her, that she can do anything she sets her mind, because my father was always there for me, but he was always working. So for me, I want to be there for my daughter too, but at the same time, I want to show her that anything is possible, and that have that communication. I think that was really important. So along the way, it's taught me a lot of life lessons, you know, from the hardship of the separation, because it was a very painful moment in my life. But I overcame it from staying in the gym, from, you know, doing bodybuilding shows, staying connected with friends that were positive, that weren't always drinking every weekend, that, you know, kept me in just one lane. And I just told myself that I was gonna eventually put myself out there as much as possible, so that way, you know, what I believed in as a kid at 10 years old, I will make that a reality. So it was a vision and a dream that I once had in my heart, in my mind, knowing that, you know, with these guys that I looked up to, like Schwarzenegger, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Sylvester Stallone, that if they could do it, why can't I? And why can't you, right? So as a young kid, admiring these guys, and I know I get people that tell me they admire me too, so that's a great feeling to have, right? I just told myself, how can I mimic these guys to just become a better me? I'd encourage you guys, if you guys decide to bodybuild or decide to compete, or whatever journey you decide to you know, go forth and proceed, I'd say just believe, work hard, stay consistent, you know, give back, and just be the hardest worker.